snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Jokes.
Yo,
I'm
yo.
here with Sin.
What's happening?
We have a chat. On the other side of you, Jokes. On the other side of you, Jokes. And you are now officially tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about all the things that are happening in pop culture. And today, hey John, what up, John? How are you, John? We are going to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. No spoilers. We have to save that for Spoiler Boys.
Spoiler Boys.
You have to go check that out. That's in the MCU chat. There's a spoiler section there if you've seen it and you need to see it. Oh, okay. Hey, Drunk John. It's not my favorite version of you, John, but I do like that version of you a lot. So we're gonna talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. We're gonna talk about the box office, what it means for the box office.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about Matrix, and we're gonna recap some of our favorite moments, some Loading Snack specific moments from this last year, as we're coming closer to drawing the year to a close. Are you playing D&D? Well, play safely. I appreciate you taking the time out to watch us while you have to pay attention to what you're doing there.
Definitely.
That is awesome. Please tell everyone who you're playing with that we said hey. You didn't actually have to say it, Jokes, like I said it for us, but thank you for being there. Listen, before we get started, I'm gonna ask the two of you a quick question. It's not hey Heather.
Saw Spidey. Dig it.
It's not a curveball. It's just a question.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about Gremlins?
Okay.
It's a good time.
It is a terrible movie, but my nostalgia still there, just from memories, and just leave it at that. Yes, Jokes is a good time. It's a good fun time to
just wait a second.
Sit back drunk and just have a field day with it.
Hey, listen, Cuddy, we're not going to spoil anything.
No spoilers.
You don't actually have to worry. So if you want to hang out, watch the show, you certainly can. Yes. Appreciate you stopping by earlier today, by the way. Okay. How'd you feel about our discussion yesterday?
Discussion was fire.
Having kids. There's no two ways about it.
That was entertaining. What up, Rock?
Rocky Balboa is the champ in the building. The champ is here. Yeah, that was a good discussion, y'all. I enjoyed that very much. Mm-hmm. And the Patreon discussion, even greater.
We were 8.
Listen, you don't have to keep reminding me how old I was when Gremlins came out.
That's a new movie club T-shirt.
Yeah, straight up. We should do that. And Jokes can say, I wasn't here yet.
I was negative 4?
Yeah. Terrible, bro. Hey, look, Spider-Man. My very favorite superhero of all time.
Really?
Has done the very superheroic thing of breaking some box office records. Right now, actually, you know what? I don't even know what it is right now. I know over the weekend, the joint broke 600 million worldwide, which is pretty incredible considering the times we're in right now. And it doesn't look like it's gonna stop. And here's why I say that. I literally just got my jacket still on. I literally just got back in the house from watching the movie again. And what I want you to know is that while I am gonna go see it again, the problem I have is that getting tickets for today was not easy.
Okay.
Nowhere near as easy as I would have liked. Like, I had to go through multiple shows to find decent seats. go, you know what I mean? Like not at my most ideal time or whatever. Cause technically, between you and technically, I was supposed to be holiday shopping.
So you still ain't get to that?
Oh man. So the question was the plan. So the question was the plan go to the movies then go shopping, or was it to originally go shopping then go to the movies? I know you originally said that.
It was both. Hi, Candace. It was both. The plan was both. Like to go shopping, watch the movie, and then go shopping some more. But the movie viewing had to be pushed back far enough that like when it was over, I needed to be here. You understand what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So, and then what that did was
what up, Domingo?
Oh, fresh. Weird Science himself. I went to the theater in Arundel Mills. Here's the other thing. I specifically wanted D-box seats. I don't know if you know what those are, but I specifically wanted D-box seats and couldn't get them.
Believe that.
Which means people put some bread down because those tickets are like $20 a pop. So I mean, the first time I saw it near me at the Magic Johnson Theater, AMC. This time I went to Cinemark. So I saw it in XD, which is not IMAX, but
it's a bigger format. It's a bigger format, but yeah.
But I still want to see it in the X screen thing. Jokes. Screen X or was it X screen?
Screen X. You got it.
Screen X, because I feel like X screen is a little too much like X-Men. They probably would have got sued. So Screen X, which also sounds bad because that sounds like Brand X. Like it sounds like we don't have IMAX. We have Screen X. Like that joint is.
One of them joints.
So, but now I'm like, well, I have to go see it in Screen X, and I still have to do D-box.
You got things to do,
bro. I have to.
Yeah,
I have to. Let me say this: this movie is better the second time because there's a lot happening in this movie. And so, you know, like when you go a second time, you can relax a little bit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, I got nothing against Adobe Digital if you are a sound hound. I'm a bit of a sound hound, but I'm telling you, man, when you sit down in those D-box seats and those things get to moving and swaying.
Now I want to try those. I'm with
that thing.
I do too.
I love my Adobe Digital, but I've never tried D-box, and I do want to try D-box though. I do.
That D-box, it's the truth. It is the truth. And I'm just like, watching movies with D-box seats for the movies I have seen, as incredible as those are, like to watch this movie with all the swinging and the shooting and the blowing up and the moving, I have to.
Right.
So we'll see if I make it in time for next week's show. See what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen. But look, here's the thing. Yes, Domingo. D-box. Only you. So here's the thing. You know, there's a lot of rhetoric right now out and about whether or not this movie means the is a really good sign for the health of movie theaters. I kind of want to get you guys' take on that. What do you think?
I don't think so. I think this is just the anomaly in the situation with the Omicron virus, you know, really out here doing this thing. You know what I mean? It's just, you got the Spider-Man movie, you know, we've been looking for this for so long, and the trailers, you know, have had us amped, and the reviews are coming back spectacular from it. Like, I think everybody who's a Spider-Man fan or just MCU fan or whatever is going to see this movie regardless of the virus or not. They just want to be a part of it and go see it. I don't think anything else coming after that is going to do it, nowhere near numbers like this. Nowhere near.
Jokes?
Kind of in the same spot. I think this was the movie that people were finally willing to say, hey, yo, we taking this chance and we going to the theater. Like, this was the one. Everybody was just, you know, picking and choosing which one it was going to be, but Spider-Man was the one that was the winner for that. I think after this, things are gonna taper off a little bit probably until the next MCU film that we get. Matrix, unfortunately, I feel like picked a bad time to release, right on the heels of Spider-Man, because one, IMAX showings of that, literally you can only see like 2 of them, like right in the beginning, and there's no more of them because Spider-Man will be in IMAX probably for like the next 3 to 4 weeks, and it ain't coming out of there. But I think this one, just like Sin said, is an anomaly. This was the one people made the decision. We're going to the theater. Well, one, you don't have a choice. So I was like, but this is the one that we were making the trip to the theater. And then after that, we could take a break.
I mean, you might be right, man. I still think that there is something to be seen. You know, again, we've talked about this a little bit before. As a person who has worked in movie theater and did it for multiple years, it's always shocking to me that people come to the movies on Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal for a lot of people. It's a holiday tradition for a lot of people. And, you know, a lot of people are still feeling, I think, safe enough to get together as a family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are either going to go see Spider-Man again on Christmas or they're going to go see Matrix.
I believe that. Yeah.
There's a, like,
100%.
And if they've already seen Spider-Man, and a lot of people have, there's a lot of people who may just like, yeah, I'm gonna go see Matrix. If tomorrow when the Matrix comes out, it reviews even close to well, a lot of people are gonna go see it. Mm-hmm. And I think the combination of Christmas, people being, I think, a little bit more comfortable,
family in town for the holidays.
Yeah, like. It could. Do I think that this is a sign that movie theaters are fine? Not if streaming services decide to do what they're doing with the Matrix, so to speak. You know, having the option to stay home or go to the theater. The other thing is, a lot of people are at the mall shopping. There are theaters at the malls. They're already there. They're shopping anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big deal. The Mango said, Christmas not matter where I was. Christmas movies are the illest. I'm a fan of The Matrix, but not amped for this. Then you're not a fan. You be a fan of The Matrix and not be amped for this. You should be at least amped for the prospect of what it is.
Facts. Yeah. This dude, seeing Neo and Trinity back on the screen, which technically should be impossible, but seeing the 2 of them back on the screen at the same time, this got me amped. Whether this movie is fire or garbage, regardless of what I go to see.
I'm looking forward to watching it tomorrow.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to the theater to see The Matrix. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Oh no, I'm gonna be on my couch after work.
Dog, sadly,
right
how you intend to do that?
What do you mean? I put Plex?
Nah, sadly, I'm not going to the theater either. Saying I want to see, if I was going to the theater to see Matrix, it's in IMAX, and because of Spider-Man, the showings for IMAX are dumb stupid. It's either the early in the morning one, which either if you're at work, you ain't going to be able to get to, or the jump that's like super late at night that you just don't want to feel like going out to the theater for.
Here's what's tricky about The Matrix. This is the next topic anyway. So yes, The Matrix comes out tomorrow. It's on the heels of, man, look, realistically, if there was no virus, Spider-Man might be the best-selling movie of all time.
Yeah,
it's pushing.
Yeah.
Pushing
it just beat out. Like, I saw a post from IGN. It's now officially the second.
Mine's got a big TV and snacks. I like that. You know me like snacks.
Definitely. It's now the second grossing domestic movie after it pushed Infinity War out the way. So the only one that's standing in the way now, I think it's still Endgame. I believe it's Endgame. So if it keeps pushing the way that it's going, hey,
$2 at the door ain't bad. You know what I mean? I pay $2 at the door, John. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I look, here's the thing. I don't think Matrix has a chance.
Oh, no.
To come close to what Spider-Man's doing. I don't think it has a shot. But also because it will be available on HBO Max.
HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's talk about that for a second. So, as far as I've seen, the movies that have released over the last like year that have been straight to HBO Max, like theater and HBO Max, there's no caveat. I mean, they do the like it's there for like the first 31 days and then it's gone and it's only in the theater until it actually releases for like digital purchase or whatever. That like additional 45 days or whatever it is now. The Matrix is different. I don't know if y'all saw this. So if you have HBO Max and you are paying the $15 ad-free tier, you can watch The Matrix. If you are in the $10 tier with ads, you cannot. It's not available for you to stream.
They're going to get you.
I don't blame them for that, though.
I don't blame them either, but that didn't used to be a thing that I'm aware. Like, again, it's not a thing that I don't recall seeing that for any other movie that they did this way. Like, I don't recall seeing it. And I think it's an interesting twist. Because here's the thing. While it might push some people to change to the $15 tier, even if it's only for a month, and they make some more money because maybe people don't want to go to the theater or whatever, realistically, you would think, yeah, but like, if you're paying for the $10 joint and it has ads, the ads are paying the additional $5. Like, why would you just not let people watch it? What's up, Brock? Why would you just not let people watch it?
Hey, what's up, man?
With the ads. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't like, I don't really get that. So other than them looking to have a lot of people that jump into the ad-free version for the extra $5, and then they just are like, yo, I can't live with these ads again. I'm just gonna keep it. You know what I'm saying? Or they forget or whatever it is, which we know is one of those things.
Yeah. 100%.
And here's the thing. It might work. Right now. So through Game Pass Ultimate and the goodies they give you, I got YouTube Premium for 3 months for free. I can't go back.
You've been saying that for a minute now.
Hey, dog, you have no idea. Every now and again, when I boot YouTube, like I'm logged in, like it'll come up, and like for whatever reason, like I have to log back in, like I'm not logged in, but I won't realize it. Like it comes up, and I go to play a video, and the ad starts playing, and I almost throw up. Like I lose myself.
Yep.
Like it happens. I'm like, what happened? And I look, and like the other day it happened to me, and I was logged in. I was like, oh, no, you not. No, you not. You ain't making me. No, you not. No, you not.
Can't go back.
Restart this joint, and I restart it, and I'm like, did they do that on purpose? Did they just sneak an ad in on me, even though they know I'm, you know what I'm saying?
If you're not paying attention.
Well, I wasn't paying attention, but I heard the ad. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of those annoying, like,
since it started tingling.
Liberty, 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 and I was like,
you turn around, look at the screen like Ike Turner. Is that me? What you doing?
You better eat the cake, anime. Yeah, like, so I get it. There are people who, like, maybe if they jump in for the month and they watch anything else, and they start to realize what it's like to watch without having the ads, maybe they just stay.
Going back
stay in there.
Yeah.
Because you can get a free trial. Like I can tell you right now, especially if you go through the iPhone, and if you pull up HBO Max and start to set it up, it'll give you at least a whole week free. So if you were just planning to get in to watch Matrix and jump out, you technically could do that.
Yeah, but is it when you can get in free for a week, are you getting the non-ad version?
It's the non-ad version. That's the only one that will let you trigger the 1 week free trial. Because with Apple, of course, your card, 9 times out of 10, you have a debit card or a credit card that is linked to your Apple account. And when that week is up, they will take no time at all to hit your card with that $14.99.
Sure. So you're paying through Apple for it.
If you do it through Apple.
You're paying for it through the App Store, basically. Okay, so it's Apple that's giving it to you for free.
I guess technically you could say it's Apple. Yeah, because
Okay. I mean, sure. That makes sense. I could see that being a thing. Yeah, look, I don't. I'm still concerned about theaters. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck with you because one of two things is happening. Either what up, Marcus? Either a lot of people are realizing how simple, easy, and much cheaper it is to watch these films from home, or they are severely and sincerely missing what it's like to watch a movie in the theater. And I think that second piece is twofold. I think movies like Spider-Man have a much better shot of doing what they did now and drawing people in. Many times we have discussions here about the movies that we go to the theater to see. We talk about what it means to us to go to the first showing and sit in the theater with people who we know are our people, want to see what we want to see, and are excited at the same things that we're excited about. The ones that actually clap, get excited and
cheer,
cry, whatever they do together, and it feels like you're experiencing it together. It's much more like going to a great concert by your favorite artist.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That is something very special and specific about very certain types of movies and franchises.
Yes.
MCU, Spider-Man, Star Wars, Star Trek, like those franchises where you know there are people who know the people and can get excited about the Easter eggs that mean nothing to anybody else. You understand what I'm saying? Things that like I have great examples of for this movie, but I can't say right now.
Right.
But you all know what I'm talking about, right? That version of going to the movies, which is geared towards, to me now, the very convention-going people. The comic convention, anime convention, the people who know and are in the know people. Right? But a movie that could be really good, a Christopher Nolan offshoot that has no characters you know, nobody you ever heard of, no backstory to build on or to fill or whatever, that's not drawing them.
Nah, there's movies coming out. I'm seeing trailer for like, oh, I want to see that when it comes out, but I can watch it at home. Like I'm not going to the I'm just not going to the theater to risk it for that film. That's all.
Right. Yeah. And the idea that there are films you're willing to risk it for.
Facts.
Right. Facts. Sounds like a beautiful woman or something, dog. Like, it's like I'll risk it all for that.
Hey, the first one I jumped out on was Demon Slayer this year. Like I gotta go. I'm not gonna miss that. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I appreciate that, Marcus, because that Spoiler Boys is.
Hey, this is a super size Spoiler Boy. Like that joint is literally the length of an MCU movie.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, we almost hit running time on that.
We needed it.
Oh, that joint's like 2 hours and 9 minutes. I already checked it.
Yeah, it's real. It's real. Yeah, man. Like I don't think the Matrix has characters that people care about in like a in Trinity and Neo. They're going to introduce a bunch of new characters. I think there are a lot of people who do recall the Matrix. I also think it's been too long. Right? Like there's something to be said for like that Jay-Z give them a CD every summer thing that just keeps it fresh for you. So you just always, the next one's right there. So I don't know that the Matrix has that kind of a draw. I don't know there's much of anything else that has that kind of a draw, or that we'll see anything that has that kind of a draw until maybe Doctor Strange comes out.
Agreed.
Yep.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And part of that, to me, is built in the incredible magic that is what they're doing with the Disney Plus shows.
100%.
For the very first time this time, and again, I won't spoil it for you, watching Hawkeye and then watching Spider-Man was just like watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then going to see Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Like, they're like running in tandem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In like real time, what's happening. And there's so much more they can do with that, and so much more they're likely to do with that. And it might explain why they adjusted their timeline the way they did and pushed everything back a little bit. So now, what this movie, Loki, have done in terms of the multiverse and any number of things being able to happen now. Characters that you have heard of or known, bro, like right now, the idea that they could do a movie that is an X-Men movie and take any character, any actor that has already been in an X-Men movie and just cameo them in the joint or put whatever in has much more potential to have a box office draw.
Yeah. Facts.
And do that money than almost anything else they can put in the theater right now. I don't know that the theaters are healthy. I think the MCU, and like Heather said, Spider-Man's healthy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, very much.
MCU is healthy. Big, large franchises like that to speak to people like us that are always looking for the next piece. We are, periodical readers. Like, all right, what's happening next? These are soap operas. So what's next? What's happening now? What are we doing next? Right? And everybody else has been trying to do it. They've been trying to get cinematic universes for
a minute now.
Right after MCU just started with the first few movies, and it was like, yo, they did that ensemble jump pretty good. We could probably do the same thing as well too.
They tried the Monsters universe, that failed. They were trying G.I. Joe and Transformers at one point.
And let me tell you something.
G.I. Joe and Transformers,
more or less. Like, here's the other thing that's amazing about what they did with that first run, like up through that first Avengers, is like they more or less did that joint with straight up B-list actors. There was nobody in that first run of films who people were like, oh my God, so-and-so's in it? No, dog. No.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr., honestly, that was a gamble. Because it was like
straight up.
That was a gamble. Like
Chris Evans was a gamble.
Dude hadn't been in
nobody,
the movies.
Dog. Like, let's keep it a buck, bro. He was nobody. Scarlett Johansson might have had the most cachet. And
but she didn't have her own movie. She was just
right, and she was garbage. Like, she was like not garbage. I shouldn't say garbage. Like, that's mean. But like, what's your favorite Scarlett Johansson film?
None.
There it is. So you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they okay. Hopkins. I'll give him that. He's in that
Sam
joint
Jackson.
for 30
Sam
seconds.
Jackson would have.
I'll give him Sam Jackson.
But here's the thing. In the first films leading up to Avengers, like, Sam Jackson isn't in those other movies for real.
He had his first. He was in the after credit scene.
Cameo
after credit scene for Iron Man.
And an after credit joint.
That did amp me though when we learned which Nick Fury we were getting at this point.
Sure, but for the most part, I mean, like, what's her name that played Pepper Potts?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah,
Gwyneth Paltrow. She probably had the most.
True.
I mean, they pulled it off, bro. You know what I mean? And change the directions of movies and cinema and what it means to go to the theater to see a movie. Changed it. Like, they straight up just changed it. Period. No. He was already black in the comic.
Yeah.
They pulled him from the Ultimate Universe version of Nick Fury was already black, and they based him on Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll never forget
done that already.
When they did that after credit scene, it was like you heard Sam Jackson's voice. You already knew it was him.
Sure.
But it was like you didn't know necessarily what it was. And then when he stepped out the shadow and that eye patch was there, it was like
That's exactly what Joe did too.
Yes, yeah.
Exactly what he
Oh my stars. My stars and God.
Ultimate does
Is that
count.
Sam Jackson? Look at your eye patch, sir.
Girl, give me a fan.
What?
And to cool itself off.
Oh, Ultimate doesn't count. Okay, sure. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, man. Look, what they've done now. Their potential for box office draw is higher than anyone else's, and there's a reason why Disney and their films take a larger cut of ticket sales than anybody else does. Because they can. Because otherwise, you're not eating. You know what I mean? And they make those deals. And it's like, I tell you what, we're going to take 55% of the ticket sales, unlike everybody else, but we'll let you slap Spider-Man on the popcorn box.
You got me.
And then you'll sell some popcorn.
Yeah, the collectors are going to come out to get those tins.
Right. Then you'll sell some popcorn and you'll be able to make the money up. Although we are going to take some of those sales too because we're putting our character on your popcorn. But like we're going to get some of that too. Like,
what do you mean? Let us get our own popcorn out of here. Come on, y'all.
Nope. Yeah, I think relax, J. Robert Dean. Patro's significant. Yeah, dog. B tier, and now the draw is like, if you're an A-list actor or actress, you want to be in the MCU.
That's where you want to be.
It's a big deal to be a part of that. Period. Even if it's just a TV show,
that's
like you're in there. Now.
Yeah,
not even the main character.
I might end up in a movie.
In a movie, yeah. Depending on how it goes.
But it also, if you really look at it, it has also led to other work for those actors within the Disney umbrella, right? Like being in the MCU, doing stuff with Marvel has given those actors other opportunities just within the Disney banner to be on ABC. You know what I mean? So it's much bigger than what most think, and everybody else. Listen. And you're probably right. Because who cared about Kate Blanchett before then? As a matter of fact, who cares right now? It's not like she survived it and is still in the MCU now.
Nah, she gone.
But people might see her somewhere and be like, I think I remember you.
Yeah.
You were
showed up Marvel, even if it was for a split second. You came in, showed up for a minute. The only person I feel as though actor wise there was only like a cameo. It was only a cameo jump. Was like Matt Damon showing up in Thor as an actual.
Nah, I'm not giving that to Matt Damon. What was Matt Damon doing? What up, Ty?
That's what I was saying. He was just an actor playing Loki.
Finally.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's there, but like
it was a cameo.
I just find it, to me, it's just funny. It's just like, imagine that pitch, like, hey, Matt, we want you in a MCU movie. Oh, word? Yeah, hey, we just want to let you know you are playing Loki. For real? But you just acting as Loki. You ain't actually Loki.
I don't think that's how that pitch went at all. Marcus, I don't know if I'll give you that. I mean, I will go back and say, yes, Blade was technically the first of the movie, but it's not an MCU film.
Not yet.
Right.
Until they decide
they definitely
the Blade comes out and they figure a way to
they can shoehorn that joint.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that joint realistically made it viable. Like, you can't look at Blade and call it a superhero movie. It's a vampire movie.
That joint fits more of what Sony's doing. Like, that joint could somehow be within that Spidey universe that they're trying to build. Like, that joint makes perfect sense over there. Morbius showing up, like, that would be the kind of the make sense where that could fit in it. But obviously, Blade could be the one that would jump from being the MCU to show up in a Sony flick. Obviously, they do the partnership one way. Maybe there's some type of workaround that they do it the opposite way as well too. And I think Blade would be the one to possibly do that.
You're right, Heather. The play within the play was amazing. This is an all ages show, so I can't tell you about my thoughts on Kate Blanchett. I mean, you can. You can tell us. You just got, you just have to censor the things that you have to censor. Look, I don't.
I do not believe so, Ty.
I don't think so
MCU
either.
is gonna, absolutely.
And if you're gonna say because you don't think it's
Ty,
gonna be rated R, I
something.
don't think that's gonna make a difference.
Let me tell you something, Ty. You don't get to come in here and tell us what Marvel's gonna do wrong or right or well. Okay. You have Wonder Woman 1984 DC guy. You don't get to come in here and tell us how they're gonna ruin. They haven't messed the joint up yet.
Nope.
Not a single joint. Even their bad stuff is better than. I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 1984 is the worst movie of last year.
The facts.
It was definitely the worst one I saw.
Last year. No, Nick Cage Ghost Rider could show up in the MCU, but he won't be
that Ghost Rider.
No. They'll do Robbie Reyes if they do it, and I would be excited if they pull the one that was in Agents of Shield.
If they don't pull that, I'm so upset how they and then I was like, oh yeah, he a little too expensive for this button for Agents of Shield. We can't do that no more. We can't do that no more.
As I seen their price tag after the second episode. This ain't gonna work.
Pun intended here, but him on screen was fire. Like
J. Robert Deans. I'm not giving you that. Marvel wasn't even willing to put their name on that movie. At all. Feige also had to do with the X-Men, the original X-Men movie. Like Feige's been around and doing this thing for a long time. I'm not giving Blade that credit. Specifically because the X-Men movies that we got, we can blame Bryan Singer. But the X-Men movies that we got, the first two were okay. As a matter of fact, I like the third joint. People hate on that joint. I like that third joint.
The second one was my joint.
The
second one was mine out of all three of them.
I was good with the first and second one. The third one is just like
that third one is heart wrenching. It's great.
Oh no! Yes, it most certainly had moments in it. Oh, I shed a tear.
I mean, they just did what they wanted to do with it. I'm not going to tell you I was happy with like the outcome of it, but like they went hard the right way for me in that movie.
Oh, they did.
It's right. It's nowhere near as bad as I think people make it out to be. I mean, that third Spider-Man joint is. The movie's not that bad. Who they chose to play Venom,
really made
is the issue with that. I don't look. Let's be real. Iron Man and Blade are so far apart, you cannot credit what happened with Blade for why Feige actually decided, why don't we try Iron Man? Like, that's not a real thing for me. There's so many years apart that and there are so many movies in between them that I don't think that's what it is. And the other thing about it is, the reality of it is, they would never have greenlit an Iron Man movie, regardless of what Feige said or what happened with Blade, if they weren't fighting with Fox over the X-Men and didn't have control and couldn't do anything with that. They had a need to do Iron Man so they could do Avengers, because the only other team they had that was worth anything, and the Avengers wasn't worth anything, was the Avengers. All their money was in and on X-Men, and had been by the time Iron Man came out for the better part of 2 decades. Easy.
Yeah. Well, Favreau directed it.
Yeah, he directed it.
Favreau directed
it. Did he write it? Well, did he write it too?
I do believe he wrote it too.
Okay. Yeah.
Shout out to Jon Favreau for playing Foggy Nelson in the, I always want to call him Foggy, but Foggy Nelson in the Daredevil movie. That terrible Ben Affleck joint. Like, that joint,
That John, I don't even remember that John. Honest, other than what's his name,
It
Colin
was a
Farrell
forgettable
as
film.
Bullseye, like
All-star. Look, again, they shot to have an all-star cast. One of the things that made that first X-Men film so great was that really there was nobody. I like Patrick Stewart, perfect casting, cool.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But let's keep it a buck. Patrick Stewart, not an A-list actor, not Hollywood, not even
TV
close.
mostly. TV.
Only Star Trek, dog. Let's not. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't say TV. Say Star Trek.
Star Trek. You knew what I was saying, but yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Like that's it. Like I love Patrick Stewart. He plays the same dude in everything, and the dude he plays has always been Professor X. Like when I watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, it is Professor X sitting in that joint going, number one. Like if that's who he is.
Yeah.
He
Number
is
one,
exactly who I always like. There's a part of me that feels like when Stanley and when they decided we're gonna make Professor X, they birthed Patrick Stewart like in real life. Like I don't know how they did it, but that's who it is. He's
the
always
second they announced the X movie, that was one of the first things everybody was saying. Oh, you got to get Patrick Stewart to play Professor X.
You have to.
Yeah, there's no like if you don't, that's a fail on everything if you don't get him there.
And let's keep it a buck. Everybody else in that joint, nobody cares about any of them except for Halle Berry. And that was another joint that people was like, why did they get her? They should have had Angela Bassett. Nobody wanted Halle Berry to be in that movie. Nobody. It's actually the most disgusting thing about the original X-Men franchise is Halle Berry playing Storm. It's terrible. Terrible accent. It's terrible.
Accent was the worst.
It's terrible.
They just got to like, don't you use that again.
She wasn't the most famous person in it because I do think Patrick Stewart was more famous than she was. But she was much more Hollywood listed by comparison. Like, so
wait,
formula.
What? That was what?
Yes, I do remember that. I absolutely remember that, John. Yeah, the colorism storm. Yeah, straight up. I'm not linking Iron Man directly to Blade. I'm saying that Blade and yes, X-Men were successful enough for Kevin Feige that when he did pitch Iron Man, they were more willing to listen. I mean, I'll take that. I just won't let Blade. I would take him on as Storm. I just won't let Blade get that. The only reason why I don't get Blade is again because Blade is a completely different genre altogether. It's a different genre altogether. Like I just
J. Robert.
I do love it. Look at that. My man jumped right in there. But yes, she absolutely was. She had an accent. What accent? Hey, listen, go back.
The first one. It's only in the first one. It's in the first one.
She gave it up after that. Like,
and it's in and out. Right. Sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. It's awful. That's exactly right. Yo, listen. Trust me when I tell you. As a person who holds on to his grievances with things that happen in movies for his entire life, that is one of them. that is one of them. It's terrible. All right, sure, I'll take it. In terms of production credit, I'll take it. You know what, Marcus? You right. Just like what you said about One Piece. You right.
No, you didn't.
Hey, look here, man. Listen. I really don't think theaters are back. I don't know that theaters are going to make it. I think they got a couple of years. I think if they don't do something trickier than the tricks they pulling off now, like they just be like, hey, we got reclining seats.
You had that before the pandemic, sir.
Yeah, you did. And not for real, like, let me just explain something. My seats don't recline at home, but let me show y'all something. Yeah, I'm so comfortable, dog. I'm so comfortable.
I can put my feet up. No, I'm chilling. I got all my food in here. I got to pay for the expensive concession stand or nothing like that.
And I'm going to pause that jump when I need to go to the bathroom. I ain't going to miss anything.
What? I can sit in my drawers and chill. Man, please.
Straight up.
I'm comfy.
You can wear your drawers to the theater. You just ain't going to get to stay.
They're going to throw you out a little bit.
John, I dig that. Multiverse makes all these older movies more meaningful, regardless of whether you liked it or not. It all carries weight now because those events inform what happens next. In a way, they can now. Their ability to make them canon. You're wrong about that, Marcus.
I'm with Marcus on that. I hated her as Rogue.
No, I thought she was good as Rogue.
He's wrong about that. Y'all both wrong about that. The casting of Rogue was not bad. The version of Rogue was bad. She didn't do a bad job as Rogue. It wasn't her fault. You just didn't get the Rogue you wanted, and you're not. You know, like that's if she had been cast as Rogue, and she had been as badass as Rogue actually was in the comics, you would be perfectly okay with that joint. Like Anna Paquin is not a bad actress. She was fine playing Rogue. She played the role. Like when you think about it, go back and watch the movie again. You hate Rogue because of who she is in that movie, not because of how she's actually acted. It's who she is in the movie. I was mad too. When we gonna see her really punch somebody? When we gonna see her let somebody out? When she
let
gonna
her
fly?
Have been able to meet Captain Marvel. Let her have been able to meet Captain Marvel back there and touched her and absorbed them powers. Things would have been a whole nother story.
Her hair was bad. You know, her hair was bad. How she got her hair was bad. Yeah, like on a side note, is Fantastic Four doomed forever as an MCU franchise?
Honestly, I'm gonna say no. I'm like Feige.
I'm gonna say no, yes, because of what you're about to say, Joe. Because of Feige and what they've done. Yeah.
As much as Fantastic Four is a group, there's the movies that, like, you know what, you can just absolutely just skip and forget about it.
I just gotta leave that on there for a second, just because.
Yeah, we have no issues with that. I don't like him at all, but that's how that's who he is in the comics. He's exactly like that.
That's just how he is. That's why I was happy with Death of X. When I found out how that ended, I was like, yeah. But Fantastic Four, I think it has a lot of potential. With Kevin Feige, because Kevin Feige is not going to give us garbage. That's first of all. If they clearly they've pitched him something already about the Fantastic Four. He's liked it already to the point where they brought him in. It's like, oh yeah, they're coming. And whatever grand scheme they're going to have for the Fantastic Four is going to involve some serious ramifications. We can already see that, especially Galactus. Like, I mean, if they try to multiverse this and somehow use the first two Fantastic Fours, I mean, Silver Surfer, Galactus, being able to bring them into the MCU is going to be an absolute plus. Whether they decide to do it,
I don't want to see either one of them.
Hey, I want to see Galactus. I want to see Galactus. I want to see Galactus. I want to see how they can pull. I'm upset at how they did that in the Fantastic Four movie.
Hey, Sam, put Heather's last comment on the screen for me. Just post it up there for a second. Just let it right there. I'm listening to you, Jokes. I just need that on the screen.
Nah, it's all good. But no, I want to see Galactus on the screen. Especially, like, I know I still haven't seen Eternals yet, but after seeing what a gigantic figure could look like on screen, I feel like within the MCU, Galactus can do pretty well.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what needs to happen. Okay, Mr. Sinister needs to happen. That's the one. I don't want to see Apocalypse. I don't want to see Galactus. If they do Galactus, okay. Sinister, that's the joint that needs
Sinister.
To happen.
Yes.
He would be the person. If they could use him, if we're going to take mutants and start somewhere, you can use Sinister as a catalyst. I'm cool with that, and give us some of these other, like you said in the past, some of these other X teams. But Sinister would be.
That's it.
That's a threat.
All right. Who's the next Wolverine? Okay. What's the guy's name from it's a motorcycle show.
Beans.
What
is the
from?
name of that?
Sons of Anarchy?
Yes.
I can't.
I know his name. Oh gosh, the man you talking about.
They were talking about him. I think he'll be great. I think he'd be great. I think he'd make a great Sabretooth, if nothing else. Realistically, though, I don't want them to do Wolverine. I've had enough Wolverine. I'm good. He's just his background, his storyline is all too convoluted. There's too much going on with it. There are so many others. Again, we've had this discussion on here before. Like, I don't want to see them rehash the same X people we've seen already. Like, I just don't like.
You can make reference to
them. Take a serious shot at X-Force. Like, pull them out of the comedy that is Deadpool and give me X. Like, give me other X teams that have mutant genes. I'd stop giving me the X-Men over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, they're going to push the X-Men and sell them again. They're doing the X-Men 97 cartoon. That's for us.
Yeah.
That's for us. And I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But man, like, I don't want them to spend the time and the money and the effort. Like, if they have proved anything, they have proved that they can take characters that have more or less existed in some level of obscurity within the pages of their comic books and make them relevant and important. I do honestly believe Moon Knight is going to end up being one of those characters. I believe that what they did with Ant-Man is incredible because otherwise nobody should care. You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
The fact that Ant-Man is more or less a corny character in terms of his ability and what he can do, they made him important and made people care. So what they could do with the Reed Richards, the potential is ridiculous. I'm more interested in seeing Namor. Man, because we don't listen. If Feige puts his hands on Namor and Namor gets a movie, they can forget whatever Jason Momoa ever did with Aquaman.
It's a wrap.
Get it. They can forget it all. And if they do it right, it won't feel to people like, oh, they trying to copy. Because you know there's people who don't know. Like, oh, they trying to copy Aquaman.
Yeah.
Man don't talk to fish, dog. He don't talk to fish. It's different. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same thing.
My man, he put hands on people.
I still want my Gambit. That's that's my favorite dude or whatever. I still want my Gambit joint.
Is he just your favorite X-Man or is he your favorite superhero character?
He's probably my favorite superhero character just overall. Okay. Like I've always loved, Gambit and Rogue are my top guy, top girl, you know what I'm saying, in the Marvel universe.
Right. I get it. Is that because Gambit is like an anti-hero?
Probably something along those lines, yeah. Yeah. Think about it, yeah.
Okay. I would love that. I would actually take more Nightcrawler. That I would take. But again, if you watch shows, man, I don't know if any of y'all have seen Legion. That show is incredible.
I haven't watched it.
That show is incredible. It's there. It's available. You can just watch it. It's on streaming service. You can just watch it. They've done some really, really dope things with characters that, again, have lived in obscurity. Characters like Blink. They've just done things that, again, we see them kind of come in and maybe play a role in this story arc within this set of comic books. And it's cool and it's important. But,
he's nothing like Cyclops. Don't compare him. But he has all those other things. And that's one of the reasons why I love him.
He might be some of those things. Nah, and the difference between Gambit and Cyclops is that Gambit is not the leader. He's a loner. And he's a loner on a team, which the truth of the matter is Gambit is a lot more like Wolverine and make a little bit less sense why Sin hates Wolverine as much as he does. Wolverine it's funny because he hates Cyclops and hates Wolverine, but Wolverine hates Cyclops. It seems like you should jive like Wolverine should jive be your man.
My only beef with Wolverine is how everybody hypes him up on this pedestal.
Isn't he pretty hyped though? No.
He's
for real though. Isn't he no, don't get me wrong. So Wolverine for you, he's the Superman of Marvel.
Oh no, that's Cyclops. That's Cyclops.
Nah.
No. Thought you meant hate-wise. Sorry. Go ahead.
Nah. I mean, in terms of part of the reason why we don't like Superman is because Superman just has too many powers. He just you can't hurt him, you can't punch him, he can fly, he can do all this stuff, right? And Wolverine is nigh indestructible. That's why they have a Hulk, right? And Hulk, they're supposed to bash each other or whatever. Yes, he's a loner on a team. That's who Gambit is. He's a loner on a team.
Yeah.
That's why they don't trust him.
At all.
It makes
a good trump card.
It really does. I would listen. John, listen to me. I would love a Dazzler. If you haven't, let me tell you something. If y'all haven't played this Guardians of the Galaxy game that just came out, my man Star-Lord has a Dazzler poster.
Yeah,
I was like, yo. My man got a Dazzler poster on his wall in his room on a ship. It's incredible. What are my expectations for Namor and Black Panther? First, I'm not positive we're gonna actually see Namor in the next Black Panther, though I would like to see Namor in the next Black Panther. My expectations, though, are that they're going to really push Namor as a king underwater who's dealt with all the things we dealt with on the surface. But nobody knows it. So whether or not he got blipped, which is a possibility, you know what I mean? Or he had to deal with the blip, Whether or not he's angry, the potential for what they do with Namor is actually incredible because they have already talked about what happened with like wildlife and all that kind of stuff during the blip. Nowhere near as much pollution, people not throwing stuff in the ocean. Like the oceans began to thrive and animals and wildlife came back and so forth.
Now that people are back,
this dude Namor wants them gone.
They did address that in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. That was like all these displaced people who like had houses and they blip back 5 years later and now somebody else lives in their house and you like can't take it from them. They can't get loans, whatever. Like they touched on that kind of stuff. My expectation for Namor is that that's the direction they go. That him and his people, even if his people, obviously his people had to get blipped, but him and his people began to really thrive because the oceans were protected and taken care of and so forth, and surface dwellers.
And we're not going to let you ruin that again. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my expectation is that he comes back on some, let me show y'all something. And then he's going to get shown something. And eventually they lead into the Illuminati. That's my expectation is they're going to lead into the Illuminati. But the problem with doing the Illuminati is that the Illuminati really is only a thing so they can get to World War Hulk. And we can't do that anymore.
Can't get to that unless I don't. Maybe they're going to try to say the Illuminati existed at some point before some of these other events, and then try to shoehorn in a different variation of, I guess, showing what the Hulk was like when he first went missing, and then we see him lead up to becoming what Thor ended up fighting. Like I still somehow, in some shape and form, want to see that story.
Oh, I want to see it.
I want to see it. It's just.
I don't think we're gonna get it. Alfonso, you might be right. They hype up Batman the same way as far as like being a loner on a team. Sure, Batman for all intents and purposes hates being on a team. He hates working with people.
Don't trust him.
He prefers like he don't even want don't. It's almost like he don't want you to know he's doing such a bad job in Gotham. So anytime somebody shows up to help in Gotham, he'll be like, "Get out of here! I got it." No, you don't, dog. No, you don't, dog. Gotham is terrible.
No, Superman come through there. Hey, you got like broken ribs and all this stuff. Let me take care of you. Somebody
got it. Right, I got it. He's just like, no, I got it.
I'm good, Slim. Leave.
Stop coming in here.
Nobody asked for you to be here.
That's why I'm kind of intrigued to see what this thing is they're about to do with Lex Luthor being Batman. Like that zone is just like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's a wild one right there.
That was a wild one.
Hey, bro. Hey, you remember when Doc Ock took over Spider-Man's body?
Yep.
We seen this already. Get out of here, Lex Luthor and Batman. We seen this already. Don't play with me, Slim. Hey, look. J. Robert Deans, I'm not so sure Dazzler's underrated. I like Dazzler. But I'm not so sure she's underrated. Like, she could do some dope stuff. Here's the thing. Technically, all mutants are underrated. All of them. Jubilee, totally underrated. They have done things with Jubilee in the comics since her time on the X-Men TV show that made her much more than firework fingers. Like, she can do things. What Dazzler's abilities are could be so incredible under the right circumstances. Her abilities are super circumstantial, I feel like. But you can write the right story to make the character, you know what I'm saying, like a great character that's important to what it is that's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing that matters more than anything else. Like, Ant-Man's having his own movie. That's the thing about Ant-Man that's crazy to me is that, like, they really didn't have to give Slim his own movie. They could have cameoed him, you know what I'm saying, or something like that, or found a way to kind of work him in. They gave him his own movie twice. And the reason why it's become important now is because the quantum universe now is like all of that is a big deal. So it's being able to look forward to what it is you're going to be able to do with those characters that become so important.
Wait, what?
Gives the vaccine, or they recast and rewrite Black Panther 2. I mean, listen, I don't think she's gonna. Listen, I don't know if she gives in or not. You know, she's holding up the process right now, and realistically, I honestly believe they can find a way to do it without her.
Multiverse is the thing. They'll shoehorn some other version. Call
Miley
it that.
Cyrus. Listen, that's Dazzler in game. Facts. Facts. Black Adam should give Superman all he can handle. Superman's weak against magic, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I'm ready to see that on screen. If Henry,
I would love to see it. I don't know that that's gonna happen. I know that's what The Rock is saying he wants. I think if anything, Superman shows up maybe in Shazam. But here's the thing: if Shazam was by himself, I think we have to have Superman show up, like he did at the end of the.
Come on, man.
Stop it. But because Shazam has an actual team,
it could be a problem for him a little bit, possibly.
Marcus, The Rock is going to use the Rock body. One of his moves is going to be used in some shape.
Shazam is getting Rock bottom.
Right, Heather. Oh, no doubt.
Easy.
He getting to people's elbow. Gonna throw that dude.
Nah, he's getting rock bottom into some concrete, and he's gonna put him in a hole.
Ant-Man is a hero in a suit. That sounds like Batman. Sounds like Batman, Marcus.
Sounds like a lot of characters.
I was
aren't they all heroes?
Yeah.
Iron Man, a hero in a suit.
Cap even called him out on that. Won't you step in that
suit?
Put
the suit on, dog. That's still my favorite. That's my favorite line from that movie. That might be one of my favorite lines from any movie.
Stop, J-Rock.
Because it was just so slick. Stop it. Yeah, look, one of the beautiful things about the MCU is that they have set themselves up perfectly to do whatever they want. And even if they mess it up, they have set themselves up perfectly to be able to undo it in a very canon way. It's like, man, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. It's incredible. It's incredible. And it is, in fact, the thing that people are tied into and have love for and will show up in droves to go to the theater to support.
100%.
Unlike almost any other movie you try to put in the theater. Like, it's going to be so hard. Because the other thing is, the quality of straight to streaming movies that are being made by Amazon and Netflix and Disney that never go to theaters anyway. Like, this is a Netflix show. This is a Netflix joint. The quality of them has come up so much
100%
that you're used to watching that kind of stuff with that kind of quality at home and not ever even having an opportunity to see it in the theater. So, like, you look at a movie like The 355, which looks like it'll probably be pretty good, but it don't look real different from Gunpowder Milkshake, which is a straight to Netflix joint. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's J. Robert Deans, man. I'm ready to sit you down. I'm ready to sit you down. Yeah, so I think that's another part of the problem is that the streaming services are making so much money and putting so much money and effort and getting the A-list actors who before couldn't make that kind of money if they ever did something that was going straight to streaming, straight to DVD or Blu-ray or NTV. They would much rather be Hollywood A-list doing movie theater movies. But now you're pulling those actors and you're doing straight to streaming service. People are signing deals to do multiple movies with them, like they do with a studio, like they do with a Paramount or a Universal or whatever. They're doing those deals with Amazon, with Netflix, Peacock. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, Universal, I guess. It is. I may say Cody Plex and Bus. Yeah, I mean, I don't. So the deal that Sony has with Stars to have all their stuff go to Stars is probably where you're gonna have to go to get at least the majority of your Spider-Man content, at least the movie,
the live action movie, movie contract. because the animated show is right on Disney Plus. You can get that right on there.
Yeah. Man, look, I'm in a lot of ways I'm hopeful for theaters, not for me, but for people who just really feel like they need to have that experience for those spaces to continue to exist. It's just like, I've grown up going to movies in the theater. I've made lifelong friends out of going to midnight premieres with like my entire, like everybody at my job. We're all going. Yep. How do I know? Because I'm buying 30 tickets.
I was about to say,
we're going to see X-Men 2. I don't care. We're all going to see Transformers. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm going on my lunch break to buy tickets.
Straight up.
Let me know right now, because once I make this trip, it's a wrap.
That's it.
We own this theater. Like straight up. So I will miss that. I already do. J. Robert Dean says, I'm sure I'm alone here, but I hope the new film triggers a release of the old 77 Hammond Spider-Man show on DVD.
I mean, I think they would do something like that eventually. Probably, honestly,
I'd be okay if they at least put it on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. That's what I was going to say. Disney will probably eventually try to get the right. Same thing like with Japanese Spider-Man. I feel like eventually, at some point, you're going to be able to access it. That would be a nice little crossover to have that on Disney Plus.
They did put the there's a documentary on Disney Plus about that.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I watched it. Pepsi Man says, I'd like to see a Rogue origin story. Crazy power, truly underutilized. The only way we're getting that is if she kills Captain Marvel. Not kills her. She doesn't have to kill her, but like
Drainer.
She has to show up in that. Like, that's the only way we're getting.
Who knows?
Like,
that could be one of our bridges to get a mutant.
Let's do it. Drain her and give me my Rogue.
Right. We understand that, Doctor Who. Like, we know that the version we got of Rogue is the original version of Rogue, but it's the garbage version of Rogue.
Yeah, that's not my Rogue.
By comparison. Like, and here's the thing. It didn't have to be. They could have continued to write her, because what her abilities are dope.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have continued to write her that way. But the version of Rogue that most people grew up with was the one they gave to us in the 92 show.
Mm-hmm.
So most people's introduction to Rogue was that version. That's
heavy hitting.
I mean, she doesn't have to kill her though. Like, I'm just like, and technically, I mean, she did, but she didn't, because only Uncle Ben stays dead in comics. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, 92 Rogue is G Rogue. Rogue with a capital G, bruh. Like, that Rogue.
That's my baby.
Is a thug. That's Juggernaut punching Rogue. Like, that's Colossus is my guy, and Rogue is Singe Shorty, and like Colossus and Rogue facing off against Juggernaut is like classic.
I remember we was playing X-Men Legends 2, which we couldn't beat. We was walking that game with just Colossus and Rogue. We was watching that game.
And it's not that we couldn't beat it because we weren't good. We couldn't beat it because the joint kept glitching. Like, it just had a glitch. Like, it wouldn't get past a particular point. So we never finished it.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, we were at a boss. We were like one of the last boss or whatever, and we just couldn't. Like, we tried it so many times and just couldn't get it to let us through, man. We would have had to restart the entire game, and that wasn't happening. We put a lot of work, time, and effort in that, and that wasn't happening. Again, you already know J. Robert Dean's Iceman.
That's your guy.
Through and through.
I mean, I thought what's his name to play Iceman in the X movies. I liked him. Like, as we saw his progression in him growing up, eventually becoming like that. Like, I don't want to say a mentor, but like, he learned his abilities. How we finally got him to see him, fully iced up in X3. Like,
he didn't have enough. He wasn't clown enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Iceman is a lot like Spider-Man in the one-liners and the, all of that kind of stuff. Like, but that is part of why when it turned out he actually is as powerful as he is, it's like those kinds of quick stuff because he didn't have that faith and belief in himself. So that was the way that he acted And that was a way of that was like a mental defense for him. And that mental defense was the thing that kept him from being able to be as powerful as he really was, like getting to that full potential. So the version that we got, I was just happy to have him. You know what I mean? Like, it was cool to have him. But I needed him to talk a little more trash and be a little more. He wasn't quite the Bobby I need.
I just posted a what to watch before the last Hawkeye episode.
Hey, listen.
That just seems like that's going to be partially spoiler. Like when they tell you, this is what you should watch.
Before you watch the last episode of Hawkeye, what it says to me is that there's probably other Disney Plus films movie shows that are probably going to have something to do with it. Like, it's probably something.
Actually, I just seen it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
Let me look at mine.
You want to see Snowman Bobby? Oh, nah, I'm good on that.
Oh, yeah, see, I don't want that.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
I don't want Snow Bobby. I don't want Snow Bobby. Let me see. What's this say? Hold on. Hey, bro, this is a lot. This joint says what to watch towards the night before the Hawkeye finale.
Good God.
Thor, the Avengers, Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, Avengers Endgame, Black Widow, and Hawkeye episodes 1 through 5.
And that was just posted 8 hours ago. Like, just between damn Endgame and a couple episodes of Hawkeye, you ain't getting all this in 8 hours.
So people got work to do, or just avoid the internet until you get around.
No, what they're saying is, you better not watch that joint tomorrow if you haven't seen all of this.
Yes.
Dog,
they're incredible, yeah. They're incredible. There is nothing like return on your investment.
True.
There is nothing like residual income. And what Marvel is doing with their movies is a consistent, you knew?
Facts, Marcus.
You need to go back and watch this and watch this and watch this. Also, don't forget to check this out. It's like starting reading at this point, it's like starting a comic book with issue 237.
Yeah. Now you got to go back and hold up. I got to go back and watch this to understand what he's talking about there.
You know how they put that little
thing in there with certain moments that happen.
Yellow joint in, and they like
make reference
with the little star on it. Or there's a reference to issue 171.
10. Yeah.
Issue 171. Where do I get that?
Digital now. You can find that in print.
Y'all better watch these joints. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Look, we're gonna move on a little bit. I want to take a moment right now because we're coming to the end of the year. I want to give my two cohorts here an opportunity to just kind of talk about some of the loading snacks specific things that happened this year that just are kind of some standout memories for them. Y'all want to go back and forth? You want to go first, Jokes?
Sure. I mean, for this year, just being able to jump really back into cons full force,
Wait, before you finish that, Sin, how many different things does he sneak into this one response?
At least 3.
All right, go continue.
Right, well then, okay, then this is probably one already. It's like I was gonna say, getting back into cons, there's certain people that we haven't seen in ages, just because they come to cons over here, whether they live in Georgia, New York, whatnot ever. So just being able to see those people again, it's just overall it's a good experience, but. I'm gonna keep it at cons for right now until Sin throws in his 2 cents. But just being able to jump back into cons full force, especially for what it is that we do, it was an absolutely amazing thing for this year.
Sin?
Probably the biggest thing for me this year was Anime NYC for 2 reasons. One, that was the first time where we actually had to separate and do 2 different things, and as a team, I think we just did well pulling it off overall. And also, it was my first time going up there, you know what I mean, to the Javits Center and, It was for a con with stuff that I love and I'm passionate about. So I didn't get to go with y'all with the NYC, that time. So having to go up there and see it and all that, just greatness was just breathtaking, honestly, to keep it a buck. It was. We still got there, we grinded, we did what we had to do or whatever. But the times I could just sit back for a second, just look around and just soak it all in was just great. So that was my big joint. And that was not a loading snack specific thing. That's why I didn't bring that one up yet. Robert Deans.
Jokes?
Next I would say the fruits of our labor. Like, we've been doing loading snacks now for years. And the one thing that we like, and actually we literally kind of had a small conversation about this, is because we have some friends that are doing some awesome stuff. And it was like, sometimes it takes those 50 no's that you get to get that one yes. And it was a point in time, for example, being comfortable being a geek, we could submit the panel, it wouldn't get approved. Now we're submitting to being comfortable being a geek panel, and this is a panel that almost every single con loves and wants us to be a part of it and bring it to the con. As much as it's the same premise, the same panel, it's never the same. And I love the fact that because all these other places are liking it, we're seeing being invited as press. Like, at one point, it was we never could get a press badge, but now it's like, guys, this work that you guys have been putting out there, it's amazing. Anime NYC, for example, that Sin brought up, they saw how we had everything organized on YouTube. Like, we love how you guys have these things laid out here. We want you guys to come up here and do that same thing. Right. So just seeing that progression from, thinking to the beginning to now thinking to 2021 and what we've done just in the small, because like everything this year has been crammed. Normally we have things spread a little bit further apart, but with everything starting a little bit later in the year, just being able to do all that within the small time frame.
Take it. Sin?
Solid. I'll piggyback just a little bit off that real quick, because I agree with pretty much what you just said, Jokes. But I think a nice little bow on the end of all that is getting accepted into MagFest for our panel, because we know how difficult and hard that was. So that was pretty solid to get the news that we got accepted to that. But other than that, I like us starting these other chat groups this year on social media, like our wrestling chat and our anime chat. Like you like to say, I live in my anime chat, sharing these stories and doing these lives with the admins. This year has been so much fun to do or whatever, to sit and geek out and talk about anime. And I'm excited about 2022 and conversations and stuff like that we'll be having over there with that. So that's definitely it for me.
Jokes, you got anything else?
I mean, I think we've hit on, like, we've grown, we've met new people. Our community has grown significantly. We love everybody that just takes the time to, even if you watch a small fraction of what it is and you share it with others, like talking with new people on pretty much on a weekly basis at this point now. There's somebody new in one of our groups or somewhere on there that just conversations totally changed. Like, yo, whoa, this is dope. Let me get in here. Let me kind of talk with you guys about such and such. Like, I love that our community this year has grown so much. It's an amazing feeling, in the fact that we've seen, still talking about being comfortable, people come out of their shell talking about these things. Spider-Man, I didn't seen friends that I've known for years that I never in my lifetime thought they would start talking about MCU and Marvel and all this. Now seeing them actually also have a podcast, and it's actually talking about these things now. I just feel the community that we've developed and has built has been just so awesome. Yeah. AJ Robert, like, look, I guess I hit my trilogy. I don't know. Maybe this is the third movie. I don't know. I've built up over time. Maybe eventually it's got to happen at some point. I'm still a kid at heart. I still love Power Rangers, so that ain't gonna change. But, but it's just, you two gentlemen, like just we've all grown in different areas on here as far as loading snacks. It is just imagine to think about what next year is going to bring. Like we already know the schedules is jam packed, but we're gonna make
You're in trouble.
we
There
are
are
gonna
so many
make
places to be.
we're gonna make shit happen. And it's like sometimes we know we're like, I don't know how this is gonna happen, but we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. Sen, you got anything else?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head right now. Okay. But I can agree with Jokes. Just, building the people, saying reaching back out to the people and growing our community and all that stuff is just, the love and support, that we have. The people that's in here in the chat every week laughing and joking with us and chiming in. It's absolutely amazing. It is absolutely amazing. I love it. And I just can't wait to see it grow and bring more people into the family. Yeah, because family is everything. Ha.
Family. You just had to get family.
Indeed.
It had to be in there somewhere.
Garbage. Look, I'm gonna say that what stands out to me is just this year has been the incredible breadth of guests that we've had on the show, doing the show with us. Keyline Pixie stands out, Jose stands out, Adam
the
stands
mailman.
Out. Having people come on the show to make announcements of things that nobody knew yet, like the new Buffy comic or Adam's show getting picked up by Fox, Sports One. Feeling having people that care enough about us and our audience to announce those kinds of things through what it is that we're doing. Listen, if you're unfamiliar with a little book called Brewing Tolerance, I want you to look it up. J. Robert Dean sent me a copy of this book. And something that stands out as a Loading Snacks thing is that he gave us an actual shout out in it. It was very special, very important. And I would say that that's a thing that has grown over the last couple of years. You know what I mean? Of knowing J. Robert Deans and having a close relationship with him, not just as a viewer, but but being family. That's a thing that happened for us this year. I think that as a team and as a group, we made a mark that was a little bit different this year. I think that getting back into cons, it's always good to see people. We've talked about that every time we come back from a con and we do a recap. Like, oh, we got to see everybody, whatever.
Because it's been so long.
Correct. But the sheer number of, like you talked about, press badges, and more importantly for me, the panel. We have other panels. I want y'all to know, like, we sat down a long time ago and put together a bunch of different panels to pitch to different places. And but this panel in particular, being comfortable being a geek, has become a signature of ours. And I think it is not just a signature at panels, but it is a signature of who we are as Loading Snacks, as a group, not just the three of us, but Kay included, and not just the four of us, but our community included. The ability this year to touch a lot of lives and have a lot of really good guests sit down and talk with us and other people about the importance of being yourself, finding other people, like-minded people within your community, gaining understanding of like what it means if somebody has a bad opinion versus whether or not you just happen to be hanging around a bad person. All of those things are the things that are probably the most stand out to me. But of all the things that happened this year, probably the thing that like comes to mind first that helps continue to push me, to drive me, because I love doing what we do. I love doing this every week. Is doing the panel at AwesomeCon, not having nearly enough time, having people like come to the stage because they had managed to get to a point where they were ready to talk and they wanted to come up, and we had to spend like another 30, 45 minutes almost, to the point where we had to move it outside. Let's talk outside. And having, you know, a young mother and her young son come up to us and say, listen, you know, like, I worry about him. You know, how do I find more stuff like what you have? What advice do you have? Like, having people come feel comfortable enough to come and ask that kind of a thing, to put their trust in you as a team, as people, but also to see enough of themselves in you or in their children or whatever it is, to want to ask those questions, because maybe they just have never had somebody else that they could ask those questions to. Right? Like, if you come to a convention and you're like, here, I brought my daughter, I brought my son, we're here, we're doing all this stuff, I'm not comfortable, I don't think they're comfortable, but who do I talk to? You know what I mean? Like, who do I go and talk to? Making ourselves available to people. In chat here, doing this now, outside of chat, within the Facebook group, you know, whatever it is. That probably stands out the most to me, more than anything else. Jay Roberts says, y'all have definitely enriched our lives. Listen, I'm glad to give you something to do on a Tuesday night. You know, look, to be honest, in a lot of ways, being able to be here and do this when we knew people weren't comfortable or couldn't go out and be out. So having something with the community, which is a lot of what we always would get with each other playing video games or something like that.
Like this with the pandemic, this has been such a relief to me because I've been cooped up in here for pretty much 2 years by myself. So I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, look forward to this every single Tuesday, and not even talk with you two gentlemen, but everybody in the chat as well.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's a big deal. Like, y'all don't understand how big of a deal it is to me when y'all names pop up. Y'all comment. Like, for those of you who like sometimes come in and y'all lurk, I know sometimes you're there, maybe you don't have an opinion, you don't say anything. It's cool. Say hi. Like, I honestly do get a little buzz out of seeing y'all names pop up. You know what I mean? I really do. Heather says, I shared that panel video with my friends whose work includes diversity and inclusion. We talked about stuff that she and I had talked about before.
Dope. Listen,
I'm going to be honest with you. I had a conversation with somebody not too long ago, over the last couple of weeks, and I've already talked to Sin about it. I think we may be looking at trying to take this panel into schools, into school buildings, like into middle schools, and bringing some of our creator friends with us to really start hitting sometimes at some of the younger audience. I don't know that the impact would be exactly the same because you don't always have the adult of that parent there to, you know what I mean, to help push that. But we're working on some things. I'm working on some things for us. Your circle is widening. It had to as your show grows and matures. I'm so proud. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you,
Marcus says, I love you people. Marcus, I've known you for a long time. I've known you for a very, very, very long time. I love you back, bro.
I can't stand you either, Marcus.
Oh, man. Pepsi, man. I knew Gage was so much bigger than the big box store. It's great to see him and Snacks Family growing and being one of the best channels on YouTube. Really appreciate that. Really do.
Thank you, man.
Really do. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you. You know, we're not gonna stop. We're still gonna do a show next week. It'll be a little more chill. I have some fun, I think, planned for next week. And you know what though? We're gonna do Popeyes and pajamas. We're gonna do like a New Year's show. So I don't look for anybody who's not comfortable isn't going out.
Join, you gonna want it.
We'll be streaming. We'll be streaming.
Oh, yeah.
We have plans. We always do. For us, New Year's, our event is called Popeyes and Pajamas. We put our pajamas on. Sometimes it's onesie, whatever you're comfortable in. We get Popeyes. That's what we do for New Year's. We do the countdown at midnight, but we hang out, we play games, we talk, it's us. You know what I mean? Just having a good time. And it certainly did start out as a thing where we used to all get together and do it. That hasn't really been a reality the last couple of years, but last year we did Extra Life again. We're not doing that this year. We're not doing that this year. We're gonna relax,
sit back and relax and have a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Doctor Who said, "This is my geek outlet. I don't get to do this anywhere else.
Just lurking.
Greatly appreciate.
Found a lurker. Found a lurker. Yep.
You know what I mean? Look, I don't know like we can see a counter. Like we can see how many people are watching, and we can see who's commenting. So we know that there are more people watching than are commenting. And look, it's perfectly okay. Like we don't have any, but it is great to just know, to hear y'all. It's cool. Say hi. It's just like when we tell, like, hey, we're going to this convention. If you see us there, say hi. You know what I mean, or whatever. It's cool. J. Robert Dean said, we had fun last year. Those little games especially. We'll be here. Your white shadows. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, we'll have some games and fun for sure. But yeah, we're definitely gonna hang out. We're gonna celebrate taking 2021 into 20 deuce deuce. It's gonna be a thing for sure. There is so much already brewing for next year. We were literally just looking at our slate, and we have like conventions on top of conventions.
Oh, there's double bookings. There's double bookings.
Yeah.
It's a little out of control. And we're trying to make some bigger moves. We're talking the possibility of San Diego, Comic-Con. Like, we're looking at some things. Hopefully, Omicron doesn't shut the world down completely and we're back to where we were at the beginning of 2020.
Please, no. I can't do that.
I remain hopeful. I am not looking forward to having everything crammed and shoved back into the back half of the year again.
No, please.
We had a lot of fun, but man, it's a lot of work on top of a lot of work. But listen, we have things planned through October. Actually, through November.
Already.
Yeah. I just because you don't know jokes doesn't mean it's not happening. Like it's happening.
No, I've already any cons that we've already been to, and we know dates. Like I've already put in time. Like I've already submitted time off for December 2022. Like
of course, because we'll be in Ocean City. Yeah, no doubt. Like, look, y'all know in a couple of weeks we'll be at MagFest. We are doing our panel. We're gonna have some great guests. Again, I'll put that information up next week. We'll talk about it. Again, really, really great guests are gonna be on that with us. 10:30 in the morning at MagFest. It's tough because people get very drunk Friday night at MagFest.
What?
But
that's a good time though. During at least it's early. People gonna be getting there early. Like I love the time frame because they could have said 1 a.m. Like
that would have been perfect. But they'd have been very drunk trying to be comfortable being a geek in that, and that's not what I need. Yeah, look. Shay the Red is gonna join us, who has done this show with us. She is awesome. She's always at MagFest anyway. So we are super excited to have her, and we're gonna have Substantial, who always performs at MagFest, always does music at MagFest. We run into him everywhere. I'm real excited about having Stan on the show. He is also a teacher, an educator. Got a couple of books. He and his wife both do books. Like it's gonna be crazy. Is the Popeyes mac and cheese fire?
I don't know. I haven't tried it.
You can keep that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot happening already.
Not a fan, bro.
Let you try that next week, jokes.
Okay, that's fair. We need more wrestling talks, jokes.
Marcus, I have some ideas for the new year because we got to get a more consistent basis. I know the last part of this year has been just a little shaky, but we got to have a conversation.
I don't want you to say it again like you
shaky.
Is that Elvis? What is that? What's that?
It's
I know what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows what I'm doing.
I know what he's doing. But
it's wilding out. It's wilding out. My man has the ref.
Okay.
I forget the name. I forget the name of the game that they do. My man he just up there. Yeah. Oh, that was a little shaky. But hey, she sounds like she's volunteering to do the K-pop.
Yes. Yep. Nah. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do.
We can have a K. That actually sounds like.
I mean, realistically, we'll talk business in a little bit, Zaina. But we need to actually put in some K-pop panels.
Thanks,
some
boo.
Panels. Oh shoot, there it is. Hey Tatiana, stop lurking and not saying hi, man. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
just say hi.
Hey, boo, just say hi.
By the way, happy birthday. It's belated, but happy birthday, Tot.
Happy belated.
We got to go out and do something somewhere, somehow.
I know.
Shot.
She
was fortunate enough. She got Spider-Man on her birthday. She was excited for that. We had the matching Spider-Man. We had the matching Spider-man shirts. Everything.
There's a small part of me that almost would have traded birthdays with you, Todd. Oh shoot. Okay, so listen, rigmarole time. Jokes, you have a job to do.
Got it.
So there it is for y'all. Follow Loading Snacks across everything. Hit the link tree. I'm going to try my best not to have to add too many more things, but I'm just going to let you know there are some more things coming that are Loading Snacks. So just keep your eye on the link tree. If you're following us in one place, please follow us everywhere else. It just happens to help us out. If you are watching somewhere like a YouTube or Facebook and they have an option for a like button, let me tell you how much that helps. Hit that. There's this algorithm thing. You probably hear people talk about it. It's a real thing. By all means, please just hit that, share it. We appreciate it. MCU chat is blowing up. Okay? If you like the MCU at all and you are not an MCU chat member, I have changed some of the parameters. It's easier to get in than it was before. I don't have to approve everybody, but please get in there. It is also the only safe place to go and talk Spider-Man spoilers. We have a place for people who have already seen Spider-Man No Way Home to talk spoilers without ruining it for everyone else. We are doing our part to keep the internet safe for those of you who are slow to see films. So,
thank you to all those that have jumped in.
Okay. Let me tell you something. It's been out of control the last 5 days. Out of control. Jokes is always really good about making that post, stamping it, pinning it, and leaving it there for everything that comes out. So y'all keep that in mind. Marcus wants to beat some beatdowns. Kay, I don't know if you're still in there.
Hey,
that's the man.
We need to make that happen. I will text you, J. Robert D.
This is your weekly reminder.
Yeah, it is. Like it happens every week. So yeah, MCU chat on fire. I know Sin has something planned for anime chat. I don't know what it is. He said he has something going on.
We anime of the year. We're gonna do an anime of the year conversation. We're waiting for Crunchyroll to, when they do their anime of the year awards. Once they drop the nominees for everything, then we'll schedule it, and it's going to be a 2-part discussion where we're going to go over the nominations, and everybody on the panel will pick what they think is going to win that category. And then when they do the announcement, we'll come back and go through who all the winners were and just see who came out on top. I'm expecting February-ish because the winter season hasn't even started yet for anime yet. So,
buddy.
Yeah.
January's about to be fun.
There's a Hawkeye spoiler post.
There wasn't one for Hawkeye. I'm actually going to rectify that, and just because tonight, well, I should say in wee hours in the morning, it's it. Yeah. And with all the things that they said you should have watched after the last episode, something nuts is going to happen in this last episode.
And we are doing a spoiler boys for the entire series after tomorrow. So we're going to knock that out so that you'll have it. Spoiler boys for Spider-Man is up. It's like that's 2 hours long.
That's on, but it is it's
serious. It's super serious. Jokes, I'll let you. Is there anything popping in wrestling chat? What's going on?
I'm looking right now in the new year. I'm looking to start strong. Wrestle Kingdom, of course, always ends up happening the same week as MagFest. So somehow, some shape and form, I want to get Marcus. You already know, kind of like I want to get the predictions out there, and then potentially we can just have our in-out discussions about it. AEW is about to pick up some even more traction over the next few weeks with Ring of Honor. Sadly, for at least right now, going on hiatus, but apparently a lot of those stars are signing and showing up to AEW. So there's going to be a slew of new things happening within the next month or so. So looking to get on a more consistent basis with that. whether it's a bi-weekly thing, prediction shows. Marcus, we still didn't figure out what your punishment was from last time when you didn't pick out the victories the way that you should have. I beat you on that, but
he got to wear a one-piece shirt.
Yeah, we got to get on that. But definitely some new things that I got brewing. The same thing. There's a wrestling panel idea I've always been formulating. I want to perfect that because there's definitely like Awesome Con specifically has a heavy wrestling presence. BlurCon, there's a heavy wrestling presence, and I want to be able to do something. We did. There was a bet, Mark. Don't do that. Don't do that. And I want to get back into things again. So Marcus is going to be the right hand man when it comes time for this. So
all right.
So let's just keep the eyes open.
I'm with it. Sin, you got a job to do.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, and Tyrone Carson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
It's absolutely true. For any of you who are here who are not members of Loading Snacks Movie Club, join up. Get ready. We're gonna be turning Movie Club, starting with next month's movie. We're gonna be doing it as a podcast. So we'll be taking the audio and posting the audio.
Yes, sir.
There'll be some logistics around it, but that is definitely happening. We'll just start with that one as the first episode. Like, it just kind of makes more sense to it's January, it's the beginning of the year. We'll start that. That'll be the first episode. It's movie specific, so I feel like it's a safe way to go, but that is definitely going to be a thing. Comic got killed.
Listen, what about a comic got killed?
I guess anime of the year, I guess.
I don't know about me, so I don't know about
I don't know.
Lot of creators. You're right. So that's your daily reminder to text jokes. Listen, thank you all so much for coming here and hanging out with us this evening. You all are stellar. You are spectacular. You are amazing. Like a particular superhero.
I was going to say, I see where you're going with this.
Relax. You are superior.
Oh, Lord. Keep it going. They're spectacular as well.
What you want me to say? You are family. That's what you want me to say? You are family.
Thank you.
What you want me to say? You are Rangers. Like, what do you want me to say? You know what I mean?
Hey, Godzilla versus the Power Rangers. Oh.
Jokes. It's just we are.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. Again, we are a community. So please go follow and support each other for all of the awesome and wonderful things you do. If you are a creator of some sort, please have links, Linktree, whatever, ready for next week's show. Whatever it is, I'm going to be asking people to post their links so that people can go and follow each other and so forth. Again, we're building here. With that, we're out. Toodles and lose.